Hello friends, welcome to this makeshift episode of the NSPPD Disease Toolkit. I've had to do this just to maintain the consistency of delivery, and while I'm not in my usual location, I think that the more critical thing is what I've got to say. So on this episode, we will be reviewing some of the diagnoses from last week's prophetic declarations, and while we're doing this, we will try to emphasize the symptoms that actually match most of the diagnoses that were mentioned across last week. Believe me, there were loads of them, and it's really difficult to keep up with the depth and the breadth of the diagnoses that come through on every single Stream of Joy ministry. But here we are. So the fact about the religion and the things that we believe is that if you do subscribe to the Streams of Joy and you follow all that has been said, you will realize quite quickly that Jesus does not need a diagnosis to do his miracles. He does not need a diagnosis to heal you. But it's on you, the onus is on you to be able to recognize that a particular word or a particular prophecy is pertaining to your current condition. And if you do tie your symptoms quite quickly to the diagnoses that have been released, then your faith can be easily and very quickly put to work. So over last week, we had anal fistula.
Anal fistula, anal fistula, anal fistula. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed. Let it be reversed. Let it be reversed.
Now, obviously, anal is referring to the anus, and fistula means a channel, an opening. So anal fistula is like an abnormal opening through the back passage, this is the anus, into the skin, boycotting the anal opening. So it is a channel which shouldn't be there, but for some reasons, either due to a breakdown in skin consistency, it's come up through a part of the buttocks. And you find that this person will be massively incontinence of feces, and it's quite a very nyama situation, because you have to obtain and maintain a high degree of hygiene to keep this person going on. Now, for anyone who's got involuntary leakage of poo from anywhere apart from the anal opening, then you clearly do have a fistula. Why you might be having this, I'm sure if you do approach your doctor, they will appropriately investigate this. Treatment in medical line, in the medical field, would be basically surgery. Very recently, there has been developed a gel or some form of glue which can be used to seal this abnormal opening, hoping that whatever has triggered it has been controlled. Now, going further down the line, we had cervical dysplasia.
Cervical dysplasia. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. The devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed. Let it be reversed. Let it be reversed.
Now, this is a disease found in those who've got a cervix. The cervix is a part of the womb. So those who have cervical dysplasia are usually, it's a precancerous condition, so they are prone to cancer. Now, symptoms would usually range from pain during intercourse, bleeding after intercourse, abnormal bleeding, and in some postmenopause, those who've gone past the menopause, you can have some postmenopausal bleeding. Now, like I said earlier, this can very easily lead to cancer, so it does need arresting at an early stage if it's found. Finding it usually, for most people who are exposed or who understand the importance of testing, finding things early is key. So a pap smear usually would be the thing to help look at the cells of the cervix and see what might be wrong and provide treatment. There is a surgery called loop excision surgery, which basically means taking away the bad cells and monitoring to make sure that there are no further growths in that regard. Now, remember, this is the diagnostic toolkit. It is a disease-led session where we're looking at the diagnoses that have come through. We're looking at all the things that may lead or may suggest this diagnosis, and encouraging you to, while you wait for your miracle, to go seek help, get your disease tested, managed, treated, and then grab onto the miracle, which I believe you deserve and you believe you should get. So all of these work together in harmony, not in discordance. So going down the line again, we have giant cell myocarditis.
Giant cell myocarditis. Giant cell myocarditis. If you are the one, put it on the last time. The devil is alive.
This is an inflammation. Inflammation means like a spreading of cells, abnormal in most cases, where the heart cells are attacked. So it's an autoimmune disease, which means that the body is basically fighting against itself, and because it's fighting the heart, which is the carditis there, the muscles of the heart, you can come with shortness of breath. You can have stuff like chest pain and easy fatigue. Like I told you, if this is a situation you have, it's extremely rare, but if you're having chest pain, difficulty on exertion, it can be 1,000 other things. But the moment you step into a proper doctor's clinic and give him the symptoms, he will examine you, put the facts and figures together, and let you know how to best manage the situation. So the one that excited me the most is pheochromocytoma.
Pheochromocytoma. Pheochromocytoma. If you are the one, put it on the live stream. That is what they told you. The devil is a liar.
This is difficult. Most ordinary persons will not be able to pronounce it. Pheochromocytoma. But it's come out. Pheochromocytoma is a disease, an abnormal tumor of the adrenal gland. So the adrenal gland is one of the ones that produce stuff like adrenaline, and where there are excessive productions of this gland, we suffer from a raised and a fast heart rate, and you also could get headaches, hypertension, and a few other symptoms. So if you're having constant headaches, you're having a raised blood pressure, which in young people you're not sure why it's happening, maybe there's no family history, but the blood pressure keeps reading really high. Now, as a side note, please, if you've got a constant headache, regardless of your age, and you've got symptoms that are not quite in keeping with your daily activities, and you're not sure why you're having to repeatedly struggle, I encourage you to go get a scarf around your arm. Get your blood pressure checked. It's one of the easiest, most subtle tests to do, and actually it does show a lot. So get your blood pressure out of the way, know what your values are, and when you've had it done, can you ask whoever is administering this blood pressure check, what are my values? Is it high? Is it normal? Is it low? Know your values, know your numbers. That's the only way to know when something has gone wrong. So you can always say, this was my baseline. So pheochromocytoma, again, quite rare, but if it is that you have any of the symptoms I mentioned a while back, match them, get a scan. You would need to have like a proper scanning of your head and your body to find what might be wrong, but you do need a doctor. Now we're heading to the last one that we're going to deal with on this episode. It's called drug-resistant tuberculosis.
Drug-resistant tuberculosis. Drug-resistant tuberculosis. After this prayer, go and check what they saw before. They will not see it again.
Now, the tuberculosis is the very famous Ukwalanta in my local parlance. But how do you know you've got a drug-resistant tuberculosis when you haven't even identified that you have tuberculosis? So tuberculosis would come with cough, sometimes blood and sputum, weight loss, very, very troublesome cough, which has lasted more than a month, getting into 3 months or more. And these symptoms are usually overt. People know you're coughing, you know you've got some blood in your sputum. Do not take things for granted. Have yourself tested, a chest x-ray, sputum acid-fast bacilli test. Get yourself properly looked at. It may not be anything more than tuberculosis. And where this is found, obviously there's a first line of treatment, the antibiotics. If that hasn't worked, then we're talking about a drug-resistant tuberculosis. So here we're allowed to say that if you already have tuberculosis, you've had some treatment, you're still suffering, then clearly it might be drug-resistant tuberculosis. You need some extensive, prolonged, intensive treatment of this condition. And hopefully that would service your situation. Now, if you followed me up to now, kudos. It means that you understand what we're doing. It means that you see that there is a need for this gap to be filled. People to understand and excel in knowing their diseases, knowing their symptoms, and fetching a diagnosis when they have sought professional help. So Well done. My name is still Dr. Ojiobiro. I'm the GP. I've got a special interest in YouTube, and I encourage you to please like, share, subscribe, make a comment, tell me what you think I've done wrong or can do better. We're still looking to improve our delivery, still looking to improve our reach, and we cannot do it without you. Thank you. I'll see you around shortly. Bye.